we've went from talking walls to blinking statues, and nothing seems to tell us the real truth about this whole situation. Now, of course, based off one episode, we can't just be like, okay, this and that happened, but we gotta figure this out. Like, this is something we have to get to the bottom of, like, before Battle of Heart and Mind. I mean, I guess we could find out the truth about all of this, like, in the Battle of Heart and Mind, but I don't really see how it would make sense. But anyway, you all already know the episode you've been waiting for. I have no subscribers. Why am I talking? So no, but anyway, for real though, I've been talking about this in my last video, about the gym harvesting theory that everybody's been telling me about. The theory that I actually brought up in my breakdown of Familiar. Now that we've talked about everything and discussed everything, we have to talk about the statues and walls and maybe even the pebbles. Now, like I said before, at first I thought that the pebbles and stuff, the wall, just like the pebbles, the walls was just a companion, not a companion. What is a companion? I mean, that might be a real thing. Companion is what I meant to say. A companion. I thought that the walls might be some sort of companion, just like the pebbles, but for Yellow Diamond in her extraction room, But, with a different purpose, maybe not an actual companion, just, I don't know. But I thought that, like, each diamond had their own thing, like, for each room. But after what I've been hearing all over the web about gem harvesting and stuff like that, people have been telling me, that everything has just been a harvest lately. And I mean, it makes sense, why people would get that theory. And if you're wondering where that theory originally it speculated, from the episode Catch and Release, all the way in, I think, season 2. I don't think it was season 3. I think it was season 2 of Steven Universe, Catch and Release. Was the episode. A lot of people have been talking to me about the whole crazy debacle with everything there, and I just feel like it makes so much sense why it would be a gem harvesting, like why people would harvest gems, make them into statues, that's the one thing they could do to a gem, if not shatter them. And a lot of people have been talking to me about, the theory that's been circulating about the diamonds doing this, or possibly going to do this to Steven at the trial if they didn't find out he was Pink Diamond today. And the proof of that was the foreshadowing in the Rose Quartz's fountain, which I have to do a video on that foreshadowing. Everybody has been telling me about this. Jesus Christ. But anyway, people have been talking about the crazy situation with the walls, and everything, being a way in which to punish a gym. So, for example, the wall right here that blushes when Steven says hi, it doesn't say hi back, probably because it doesn't want to get in trouble. The walls being put into the walls like that, the gym being put there, is probably their way of harvesting the gym. So when Peridot and Catch and Release wakes up and says it's a harvest, they're all trapped in a bubble. And they're basically trapped in the wall. So this being a form of gem harvesting would make so much sense. It just would, And of course, a lot of people have been talking to me about the whole off-color theory, about them being off-colors, which, I mean, I guess it would make sense. I mean, okay, if gems are really bad or did something bad in the past, like, for example, shatter a diamond like Rose, then I see no better reason to harvest them. Or, I guess, like, this is like one strike and you're out. So, if you do something terribly bad that you know you weren't supposed to do, then they put you into a gem harvest where you have to pretty much be an ornament for the rest of your life. And if you do something wrong, like maybe talk back or say hi to somebody who said hi to you, which is probably why all of them looked up when they weren't supposed to be talking, because, if their diamond, which I'm assuming is Yellow Diamond based off their gemstone and where they are, if their diamond saw what was happening here, then they would probably get punished or better yet shattered, which it would make sense in their cases, which is probably why Peridot was so scared when she saw it, because she's not really a high-ranking gem. She said something bad to her diamond Yellow. If Yellow actually got her, she probably wouldn't have shattered her, but she could have just put her in one of these little harvesting tube things where she would have had to have been stuck to a wall for the rest of her life, and that would have been her sentence. Just like Steven at the trial, probably would have been put into some sort of statue. And if you got caught talking to your friends, sharing your little gossip, like when Steven walked down the hall and saw the talking walls, then you probably would have gotten in trouble, and then you would have gotten shattered. So, I mean, and if this is the possibility, then I feel like it works out a little bit better, because I feel like you shouldn't get shattered right off the bat for doing something wrong. I mean, everybody messes up, but it's just like in real life. You get put into jail for doing something wrong. You don't get killed immediately. Well, I mean, maybe executed, depending on what you do, like, or where you are even, but you don't just get killed immediately. So I feel like, just like jail, if these gyms did something that they weren't supposed to do, something really bad, then the way for them to serve their sentence would be best to be put in some sort of gym harvest. But only if they did something like reasonably bad where they would have to be put in such a gym harvest, because I see no reason to really punish anyone worse than that. So, I mean, if this is what homeworld really does to people who do bad things, put them into a gym harvest for, it would make sense on exactly why these gyms were so quiet when Pink Diamond walked down the hall so that they didn't get caught talking. Because, I mean, they're meant for decoration, right? Not to just be talking walls. But, and back to the off-color thing, if they did just do this to off-colors on a regular basis, I feel like, no. It's just nothing, I just don't really like that theory, because I feel like if they're off-colors, right, they should be shattered on sight just based off how ugly they are, right? No offense to the off-colors, I'm just saying, like, based off how the diamonds see it, I feel like they would shatter them on sight just based off how they look. So, that's just how I feel about it. But anyway, you guys, don't forget to like and subscribe for more of Cool Like. I'll definitely be doing some more videos talking about this. And anyway,